My name's Barry Hollopeter, and I was raised on a farm in the northern Midwest. Small town. The closest town was we were in between two towns. The closest town was about 300 people, and the town the other direction, a little bit further away, about 2.5 miles, was maybe like 6,000. It was a small college town, real conservative area like you might expect in the Midwest. Got married when I was real young. I wasn't but just a child. I think I was maybe 18 when I got married. My girlfriend was pregnant, and I think I was made to believe there was a certain amount of disgrace that went with that in the family. My big break with the job was to get an insurance selling job. I think it was like 21 by that time, and I got to keep my fingers clean and wear slacks and a sport coat to go to work, and thought that was something, drive a new automobile, and damn, it was a great time to meet women too, because you weren't all nasty, grubby, and I never quite did, growing up, before I got married so young, I never had a chance to really find out what girls were about, other than the one that I married. And be damned if I didn't start poo-daddling about with a couple of different girls, and wasn't very slick about it. My wife figured it out, caused all sorts of havoc, like you might expect, and felt horribly guilty about it. Knew it was wrong, but had no idea how I could possibly quit doing it either. So it seemed like the right thing to do would be to join the military, and that would be like a little just get away from everybody, and I could kind of sort out my life and put it together. Viet Nam was in the news all the time. It was like 1967, and it just couldn't help but make an impression on you one way or the other. I was like Midwestern, like I said, so it was all apple pie and mom, and we wouldn't be there if there wasn't a good reason for being there. And so I was going to go be a part of it, I guess, if that's what happened. But I joined the military. Ended up I was in the Marine Corps. Got in the Marine Corps, and I had no idea at the time that I thought I was getting away from trouble, and it didn't turn out that I was really getting away from it. War was heating up pretty good about that time, late '67. Man, they were pouring troops in there by the bucket load, and went to Vietnam. Turned out to be bad. I made 10 months out on my 13-month tour. Got pinned underneath of an ammunition truck, and a lot of interesting things happened. I never had been around black people in my life, and learned how to dislike blacks real seriously, because so many especially the blacks and some of the white guys were inner city people that had gotten in trouble legally, gotten into some kind of a fuss, and the judge would give them a choice of either doing jail time or going to the Marine Corps. And some of them were crazy enough to take the Marine Corps, and they were pissed off, mean people. It was hard to like some of them, and that was my first experience with a lot of black people. But when I was pinned underneath that ammunition truck, it was like shit was coming down on us, and nobody wanted to come down there and dig me out underneath that truck. But this great big mean old black guy came down there with a shovel, and probably was horrible for me. He threw me over. I'd been pinned underneath the thing, and it broke my back. But he got me out from underneath that truck, threw me over his back, and carried me up this bank to like a Jeep, kind of an ambulance, take me off to a medical battalion, and got operated on a hospital ship, and 5 hospitals later ended up at Great Lakes, Illinois to rehab. Anyway, the point of the happenstance of this black guy coming down, his name was Banks, that's all I can remember about him is Banks, coming down to dig me out from under that truck is that laying in the hospital for all those years and rehab and counting dots on the ceiling stuff, I had lots of time to give black people a whole new take. It was, I mean, it was incredible. It's like nobody else wanted to come down there, and we were in the soup, man. I mean, nobody wanted to come down there and risk their ass to dig me out. And he did. And he didn't know me hardly from anybody. He knew who I was, but he didn't care about my white ass, really. Or it didn't seem like he did, but on the other hand, obviously did. He came down there and dug me out, and I've never forgot it. And I've never been able to thank him either. I hate that. You've squandered not only your life, but you squandered so many other lives, the people that you've killed and the people that you've let down and disappointed in other parts of your life. It's just endless. And as much as you dislike yourself, you still like yourself better than anybody else. So anybody else you come into contact, they're not going to get much of a fair shake out of you. It's a bad deal. And you might be high and all smiles and laughing and seemingly having a good time, but you're boiling inside. You're just waiting to go off. It's just a powder keg. I remember going down to a little saloon down here in the hill country, and little redneck place, and walking in there with cut off shorts on and feathers in my ear, and maybe sometimes even wear a skirt just to see if I could get somebody jacked up and want to play with me, That was it was just like there weren't any limits. When you're living and dying and your life means nothing, and you come back to this world here in this country, it's like none of that fits in. It doesn't mean, you don't have any idea what anything means. There's just no limits anymore about what's right and what's wrong. It's like you've burned out villages and killed women and children 1 month, and then the next you're back here and we call it the world, and you're supposed to react in a civilized manner, but you don't, because you don't give a shit. Yeah, you don't care, and there are no limits anymore. So it took me years and years to find limits and find my own ethics and my own morality, because it had all been destroyed. That thing of being an innocent farm boy and going to that kind of an experience is overwhelming in ways that I couldn't begin to describe. Wish people understood.